Hello, friends, and happy Friday. How's everyone doing this evening? It is a wonderful Friday evening here. I'm so happy it's Friday. So happy to see you all, and I see we've already got a lot of folks. Boy, you guys are joining the chat earlier and earlier, and it's great to see that. Love seeing you guys starting the show without me. It's a good thing. So, I am smoking the Matches Memorial Friday 7 Alley with some Haunted Bookshop, as is the tradition here on the Friday night live stream, and let's get going. See who we got joining us so far. So there's John Britt. He's got his Peterson St. Patrick pipe with Bayou Night. Oh, off to a good start with the old word flow here. David S. Good to see you, David. Also got a Peterson with Northwood. Very nice. Blake's pipe. Big Dave. David Bookshop. Metafortune, John's Pipe Journey, Paul Ratpiper on the 45, Chris Weber. Great to see you guys. There's Jeffrey Feinberg, Bona Piper. Happy Friday, Christian. Hillbilly Piper, Justin. He's got old Joe Krantz and a Peterson. Nice. There's Poem, Tamper Jim, Flint Hill Briar. First pipe in a week. Wow. Yeah, it's been pretty cold here too, Flint Hill, but glad you got that pipe in. Gary Edminster, Hillbilly Piper. There's Doug Owen. If you ever want to get rid of that Dunhill Bulldog Root Briar, let me know. Doug, I don't have a Dunhill Bulldog Root Briar, but I'll think about it. I don't think I do. There's Michael Case. Did watch the SS United States Department. Yeah, it's that's. I got some thoughts on that, Michael. I didn't get to see it, but that was always there when I was growing up, and I kind of it's kind of sad to see it go to such a. We'll talk about it. Signalman Tony from Rhode Island, Flint Hill Briar, Bob Kraus, Gary Edminster. I think I might have already said. I'm going to start repeating myself. Sorry, guys. I can't hold that much in my head anymore. Lord Hogarth, Yornik, White Knuckle, MTB. Happy Friday to you. And there's Smarty Bob, and I think we are all caught up. So yeah, for those that don't know, the SS United States was this giant ship that was parked off, right off of the in the Penn's Landing area, Philadelphia. It was very close to where I grew up, and I would see it often. It was this huge, imposing thing that you drove down what used to be called Delaware Avenue. I think they changed the name of it now, but and yeah, it was just gigantic, and you just look at it and you go like, why is that there? You know, because there just be these giant smokestacks off the ship. Anyway, it was there forever, and there were plans to revitalize it and then turn it into some sort of a hotel or a casino or something, and there was a whole committee to try to protect it as a national landmark, and on and on and on. And unfortunately, it's on its way now to be sunken into the world's largest artificial reef. So, such is life. It was apparently very expensive to keep it where it was, and they just couldn't do it anymore. And it's sad that such a interesting piece of history is going to be lost now. But I suppose it's not bad that we get a reef. So it was pictured in the intro photos. Oh, Doug, those are all pipes that I worked on at one point or the other. They're not my own personal collection. So if there was a Dunhill Bulldog there, it was something I had restored and has sent off to the owner. So apologies. Welsh Piper, good to see you, buddy. Can't text. Oh, can't text working. So because you're working and you can't text or work. Whatever. Hope you have a great weekend, buddy. Always nice to see you. Fastest liner in the world at one time. Yeah, it was an impressive ship. And like I said, I only saw it. You know, I'd be sitting in the car. My dad would be going somewhere, and I'd look out the window, and there it was. I never actually got to go on it or anything. I don't think anybody ever did once it was docked there. But yeah, it was just really it was a giant, impressive ship. And the interesting thing is that this part of Delaware Avenue, it wasn't even obvious to you as you were driving along that you were driving next to the river, which is a gigantic river. Further down, you would see it, and you'd be right across from Camden, and there's the Ben Franklin Bridge. But at this point, there was enough stuff between you and the river that you just didn't realize you were that close to it. You just felt like you were in the middle of the city, and there was this, giant smokestacks of a boat sticking up. It was an impressive sight for a long time. Yornik finished the madness, and it was okay. Glad to know you're on the other side of it. Oh, thank you, Doug. Still holds the speed record for crossing the Atlantic Ocean, says Big Dave. That's impressive. Because it had to be in that dock for 40 some years at least. So that is impressive. Armchair Piper, hello there, Ed. And there's the Smooth Piper on a bookshop in his Friday Savinelli. Yeah, it's tough when things like that happen, but you can't. Not everything can be a historical landmark. You can't keep every building. You can't keep every ship. You can't keep everything. And the truth is, even if you fight for it today, the next generation just might not appreciate it, and they want something completely different to be their landmark. So, what are you going to do? How many times do you cross little roadside plaques that are, historical markers, and you read the plaque and you're like, I'd never even heard of these people. Oh, Kate, sorry to hear you can't sleep and your man crashed, and I hope everything's okay. Hope you're both back hope you sync up better soon and can get back to enjoying stuff together. Ah, yes, David, the International Pipe Smoking Day was yesterday, the day before. I lost track. Ras on Wheels, how you doing, Ras? Happy Pipe Week. That's a new one. It used to just be Pipe Smoking Day, now it's Pipe Week. As soon as Hallmark gets a hold of something, it just goes. Yeah, they're going too fast for me. Or I'm talking too slow. There's Sailor, Savinelli Punta Oro with Shandy Gaff. More Shandy Gaff getting burned on Sailor's deck. Oh, Michael, that's a cool little fact. I bet that was an impressive sight to see, being on the Queen Mary. T. McBA wants to know, what's the model number of the Friday 7L? Somebody please tell him so I don't dump ash in my lap looking. I can never remember. White Knuckle MTB, smoking penny farthing and drinking suju on the rocks with lime. That sounds like an interesting combination. Big Dave wants to know whatever happened to the SS Minnow. It's still on that island that's surprisingly close yet still uncharted. It's rotting away. It's sad, really. Ron Hardcrackers, I don't know if I said hello to you yet, but good to see you, buddy. Ah, Welsh Piper's on a break. Okay, and he worked on the first QE2. Nice. Doug Owen is asking a restoration question. Uh-oh. I will try to live up to it, Doug. Often pipes after multiple pipefulls, a brown stain collects where the button meets the mouthpiece. The button meets the mouthpiece. How to get rid of that stain? You mean here, Doug? Like right in the crease of the button. There's couch freezing something. Yorick is recommending the Book of Hours game so far. There's Chris Coate checking in from Michigan. 673, thank you, thank you. So I should make a little sticker and put it on the monitor here. So the Friday Savinelli is the 673. That's the number of it. Tried scraping a bit with a knife. Okay. Paul Rapp has settled. C&D Byzantium in his Friday Savinelli Church Warden, accompanied by a wee dram of Jameson Irish whiskey neat. Okay, so yes, it is the crease. So Doug, what I do, and I'm not, so if it's a ebonite stem, it's a little bit difficult just because it may not be a stain, it might be oxidation. But I'll take, and this is just for my own pipes. I'm reaching for a pipe cleaner here. Hang on. So if I'm doing a restoration, obviously it's getting sanded and stuff, so that's different. But if I'm just cleaning my own pipe, I will just take the pipe cleaner like this, and I don't know if it's showing up or not, but so you can just kind of push it right up against that crease and rub it back and forth. And if you put a little bit of something mildly abrasive, like you could use baking soda, you could use some toothpaste, and just rub that back and forth, you can usually polish that out. So that's what I would recommend trying. I mean, maybe initially just try it with a little bit of mineral oil or obsidian oil or something like that. Oh, I haven't gotten anywhere near that many times, Michael. 650 at the most. I bet that was a wild and crazy night, sailor. That must have been quite an impressive sight. Rick Newsom's first book, In Search of Pipe Dreams. David G. has just started. Yes. Excellent book. Oh, it is oxidation. Okay, Doug. No, the Everclear will make it worse. Everclear tends to bring oxidation to the surface. Alcohol does. Yeah, I'd try. In that case, you're going to wind up having to buff it or replace it with some wax or something. But yeah, I mean, coat the surface with some wax or something, because if you abrade it, it's just going to oxidize again. But I'd probably try something like baking soda and see if that works. Chris Weber's got a good suggestion there with the Mr. Clean Magic erasers. I haven't specifically tried those to get into that crease, but if you can get it in there, that would work. I have had some good luck with those with mild oxidation. But I've tried all the tricks with oxidation, and the truth is, you got to sand it off. There's no magic way to make it go away. It's got to get sanded. If it's mild, the Mr. Clean eraser is probably abrasive enough to get it off, but if it's anything even slightly deep, you got to take a layer of ebonite off. So John Brett says he uses Everclear for everything. Do you find that it ever causes your stems to turn, John, or to get a layer of oxidation? Because that's been pretty consistent for me. If I've finished cleaning a stem and I accidentally get some Everclear on it, I'll get a patch on that I have to go back and sand because it just lightens up and oxidizes. Oh, Big Dave, I sure hope spring weather's on the way. It was really cold this morning. It was like 12 degrees when I left to go to work. And I had a meeting starting about an hour after I got into work, and I'm sitting in the meeting. One of the guys in the meeting said, "You know, this morning I've officially had enough cold." it was it was fine up until today, but yeah, this is enough. And I said, "Yeah, I'm surprised it took that long." Lurker Troy, you're being very cool. That's not nice. Yeah, Doug, try Chris's suggestion. Ignore Troy. OxyClean's the same problem, Sailor. It does what OxyClean and bleach do, or peroxide, depending on which version you use, is it just makes it easier to see these stuff you got to sand off. It really doesn't change the need to sand. Mad cold over there in Georgia, York. And when you say it's cold, it really is cold. You and our northern friends, Christian and Everett, when they say it's cold, it's cold. When I say it's cold, you guys just laugh at me. Ian Haywood, Paragon Piper, good to see you folks tonight. Okay, John, maybe yeah, it might depend a lot on the ebonite too. There definitely are different. No, Troy, I don't think you're going to get much business. I've definitely seen batches of ebonite that seem to oxidize a lot easier than others, and some are easier to clean than others. And I have no idea what the thing is with that. I was talking to somebody in the comments the other day about they had some stems that just tasted like rubber, and I've heard people say that. I haven't run into it myself, but Pepe, in Montana, there's too much snow. Oh my goodness. No one's plowing the streets. Yeah, it's like that up in Vermont where my sister and brother live now. They just don't even bother to plow. Everybody's got snow tires and chains, and boy, Chris, you know that's bad when 17 feels good. Yeah. It's the other thing. We've had some really strong wind. Um, the cover on my grill outside has just shredded. I'll have to take a picture of that and maybe put it in the video on Sunday because it's funny. I mean, it's just it looks like I don't even know what it looks like. It's just shredded. I looked at it the other day. I pointed to it. I said, you know, I think we might need to get a new one. It's if I were to tape it with some duct tape, it would be like 90% duct tape. Oh boy, lots of questions. Big Dave wants to know how electric cars function in cold weather. I would assume just as poorly as they function in warm weather. Uh, Chris Code, how often do you clean the cake out of your pipes? That's an interesting question. Chris Weber is asking about my brother. Thank you, Chris. I'll give you an update in a moment. And I think I'm kind of caught up here. Yeah, so how often do you clean the cake out? It depends. I mean, sometimes I'll just notice that it's time and I'll do a quick ream. I've got that nice triangular reamer that Phil Rivera makes that does a great job of just maintaining things. So if I'm between bowls and just looking for something to do, I'll pull that out and just kind of trim it back. I don't really have a schedule. It's just when I notice it needs to be done. And I usually notice as I'm filling the bowl, so I'll make a mental note that once this bowl is done, I'll get the reamer out and ream it. But it's not anything I do on a schedule. My brother actually went to the doctor's today. He's doing well. He still doesn't have a good treatment plan or anything, and things are very difficult up in northern Vermont right now because of the weather and all. But thank you for asking. He's in good spirits. He's about as healthy as could be expected, and we just have to wait to find out what the next step is. So if you guys want to keep Scott in your prayers, it would be appreciated. Let's see. Yes, chains and ice cleats, Pepe. I know, that's just the way it is in some places. Going to Lower Alabama for the winter, David? Is it? I assume Lower Alabama means warmer? I haven't seen my buddy Patrick Grant, which is bad because Patrick is the guy that keeps me on track with things like this. I haven't started drinking yet. I'm gonna have the last of my North Coast Russian stouts. These are really good. Old Rasputin Russian stout. And if you don't remember the story, apparently this is a British recipe that was used in the 1800s to make beer for czars. And that's about all that I can remember. But it tastes good. And where did I put my opener? Opened. Relax. Patrick's usually the first one to say, "Hey, Mike, what are you drinking?" I go, "Oh, yeah, I gotta drink some." I don't have to, but you know, I want to. Oh, cheers. I will not the next beer that I buy, but I will buy more of that. Ah, thank you for the prayers, folks. Much appreciated, guys. Brian says that EVs lose about 50% of their charge in cold weather. My goodness. Can you imagine if your car lost 50% of its gas when it got cold? Doug's asking about mold problems with C&D tins. Doug, I know people have had them, and people have sworn off C&D because of it. I've never run into it, but cue the Boney M song, Rasputin. There you go. Algonquin Briar. There we go. I got it out. Good to see you, buddy. And Yorick has got some Baikal, Baikal. Good local soda, which I almost was able to pronounce. Gary got his beer when the intro started to play. I should do that too. Maybe that would help me remember. Pepe, I truly appreciate the thought, but I mean, if you want to send me an email, but I really do not like, I shouldn't say I don't like, but I've got so much tobacco that, you know, folks send me tobacco and stuff, and I feel bad because there's a lot of folks out there that need it more than I do. But thank you, my friend. I really do appreciate the thought. Doug, are you sure it's mold and not bloom, which is also mold? Okay, so it's not 50% of the range, 20 to 25% of the range. I hope there's not a rusty nail in there, Brian, but if there is, I'll be careful not to swallow it. Thank you for the warning. Ghost Cobb checking in from Lake Lucy. Good to see you there, Sean. Haven't heard the Chat PT song? Are you talking about the CaneRod Pipes theme song? I actually have. I set this up tonight. I was going to surprise Mushroom Leg with it because he likes it so much, but he's not here. So, but if he shows up, I do have the Chat theme song ready to go. Pepe, my email is my channel name at gmail.com. So if you want to send me an email, we will talk. Oh, very cool. So Raz says every first snow of the year he smokes some nightcap outside. Wants to know if anybody else has winter traditions when it comes to pipe smoking. Hey, Brian, if that's your thing, I mean, I do think there's plenty of drawbacks environmentally. I mean, they're much worse environmentally than gas-powered cars, and then the risk of them blowing up and burning hotter than the sun. But if you're happy with it, that's good. I personally would never buy one. Ah, there's a good tradition. Yornik usually smokes one pipe of maple syrup aromatic every New Year's Day. Armchair Piper smokes indoors as a winter tradition. Yeah. Dan Falcone's winter tradition is to go to Florida. Oh, interesting point there from Sailor. He's saying that the Cornell and Deal tins are aerobic, so they're not vacuum sealed. And that would lead to the ability for mold to develop. Ghost Cobb's winter tradition is to stay inside and smoke. I've heard there's been a lot of snow this year in Pittsburgh, Ghost Cobb. I haven't been back since before Thanksgiving, but we just were talking to my wife's mom, my mother-in-law, yesterday, and she said they've been getting quite a bit of snow. You can't buy aromatics in Boston, Paul? I didn't know that. Is that true, Michael? You would smoke some frankincense? I would love to be around you when you did that. I'm sure it smelled wonderful. I don't know how it would taste. 16 in Georgia. My goodness, Codger Jim. That is cold for Georgia. Oh, interesting, Chris. So Chris Webber is saying that they do seal the tins, but they leave a little bit of air in to help with aging. Yeah. But you know, the truth is, I've got jars of tobacco that I put into jars from bulk blends that are 15 years old, and they don't have mold on them, and they're not vacuum sealed. So, no, Michael, you wouldn't, but you might pull my leg a little. So I do have something interesting to show you. A new and exciting addition to my menagerie of pipe stuff. James, though, the tobacco has purity laws like England in the 1700s. My guess is it's not that. It's that they've decided to protect the children by blocking those evil aromatics. Lord Hurth likes to put a little myrrh in with his frankincense. Okay. Brian says a Nissan Leaf is an electric car. It's an electric go-kart. God, David G, yes, switching from his smoking jacket to a smoking parka in cold weather. That's a good tradition. Yeah, I've never seen mold in a jarred tobacco, Doug, but and I can't believe that I'm more careful than they are at Cornell and Beale because I'm using my hand and stuffing it in, and you know. So I don't, it's odd that they've had as much trouble as they've been reported to have. But again, I've never seen it. But I don't buy a lot of tin tobacco. I mostly buy bulk tobaccos from them. So guess what I've got? Never go after the flavored alcohol. Yeah. Well, at least they're being consistent in blocking the flavored vape stuff, because in my opinion, that's much worse for you. My opinion, it's an opinion. Ah, interesting point, Sour. The mason jars are allowing some UV penetration. Lurker Troy, you got it, man. You're good. Oh, Ras got it too. You guys were able to identify that that was a Zippo? Did I show you a... No. You guys are good. All right, what kind of Zippo is it? It looks like the light isn't catching that well. Or maybe just the monitor. It looks better on the... It's one with a lifetime warranty. There you go, Ghost Cub. Isn't that a thing of beauty? I missed out on the last Super Bowl win. And I actually ordered this the night of the Super Bowl, right after the game. Cleveland Browns. Wouldn't that be hilarious? I might have to get a Steelers one just to keep the family happy, because we are half Steelers fans here. And this is brand spanking new. It's still got the the sticker. See what the sticker says. Keep away from children, especially if they're prone to smoking flavored tobacco. Not child resistant. Ignite lighter away from face. That's a good tip. And look, apparently, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but apparently it's not, you're not allowed to have it around Kewpie dolls. There's like 4 of you that got that joke, and you're all older than me. Let's see if I can get the no Kewpie doll sticker off. What does that mean? What does that sticker actually mean? I don't know what that means. Kewpie dolls are babies, aren't they? No babies? All right, sticker has been released. Oh, that's pretty. There we go. For best results, use Zippo flints and fluid. Or if you can't find those, use any flints and some gasoline. The thing I love about Zippos. It's a secret message from people trapped in the factory. So let's, I just happen to have some original Zippo fluid, which I had independent of this. Got a question. Don't peel that sticker off, it covers a playbook. Oh, it's too late, Michael. It's too late. And she wasn't actually it just, what it covered was a mirror image, so that would mean that I'm the Playboy model, which is terrifying. So, you know what, creator? These things are not permanent for sure. I've had some that start to get a little ragged around the edges and all that, but I don't care. It's fun. So, does anybody know an easy way to open these? Because this is something that's been bothering me for a long time. You got to get something underneath this. I'm going to use a screwdriver now. But I want to show you. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but that's all kind of chewed up at the top. You probably can't see it. Because what I do is, because inevitably I've got the lighter in this, and I get the corner of this and I kind of get it down under there and lift it up, and this gets all chewed up and eventually it stops squirting. Or at least it doesn't squirt as much. And I should just put a little screwdriver on the shelf with it, but of course I'm not going to do that. These things seem to have gotten stiffer over time. We'll use a secret filling formula. Do you guys count when you fill your Zippos? I don't think a coin would work, Michael. I don't think, because I don't think they used to have this little tab here that actually prevents you from getting anything under it. So you have to go from the side to get it. Probably protecting the children. Oh, Danny, that sounds good. Gnocchi and olive oil and butter with shrimp and garlic. My goodness. Hillbilly Piper cuts the piece off the front. I might do that. I might do that. I don't know, Brian. There are people that hate the taste of the Zippo and the smell of it. It's never bothered me. My favorite lighter, you know, but your mileage may vary. So, oh, look at that. Isn't that pretty? And you saw me take the, I did not do anything to make that shoot up like that. So, End of a tamper with a pointer. So a lot of folks are using tampers or check tools. Ah, Brian Woodward. So that's interesting. So you don't close it all the way, but it's still enough to shut that down for evaporation. Okay. You didn't say it would work. Good point, Michael. There's Patrick Grant. Missed you earlier, Patrick. Good to see you, buddy. I was joking, Patrick, that I almost didn't have a drink tonight because you didn't ask me what I was drinking. Hey, Andrew Sirigliano. Good to see you, buddy. What am I doing here? Give this one more lay. We'll now use the... Yay. Bad Company UK. Good to see you, Bad Company Piper. Got some Watch City Old Black Magic. The Political Piper. How you doing there, buddy? Earl Grey tea for Justin tonight with a bowl of autumn evening. That sounds nice, Justin. I do like some Earl Grey occasionally. I'm usually more of an Irish breakfast tea guy, and I'm more of a coffee guy, but every once in a while some Earl Grey is nice. Yeah, I saw somebody mentioning picks on knives, and the Swiss Army knife, well, I guess it depends on the model, but the model I have does have a pick. But I just never have it, you know. I'm usually filling it like in the morning. I haven't yet put a pocket knife in my pocket. You know, I think what I need to do is just keep something like this little screwdriver on the shelf in the laundry room where I keep the Zippo fluid usually. But I'm going to try to cut off that tab and see if that helps. John's pipe journey is smoking dried mullein leaves and a falcon because he's getting a cough. Is the mullein leaves to help you with the cough, or is the mullein leaves causing the cough? I'm guessing it's the first option, but sometimes I'm dense, John. Sorry about that. I'm not familiar with those. I'll have to look that up. Pepe's asking us if I've ever tried kombucha. I have, Pepe. I have indeed, and it's interesting. I wouldn't not drink it, but it tends to be kind of expensive for what it is. And most of the time, if I'm not drinking coffee, or at work I drink tea just because the coffee's lousy. I'll drink water. That's just the way I am, or beer, or whiskey. Papa Bear, good to see you, buddy. Happy IPSD indeed. He's not the Joker. You're not okay. I'm glad you clarified that. Could keep a precision ground feeler gauge pin in the spout. That's an idea, Paul. Or maybe just a nail. A little finishing nail might do it. Mullein extract is great for lung health, says Russ. Okay. I don't even know what this is. Interesting. Lap Sung So Shung. These are that's a smoked tea. Okay, Flint Hill. Doug, I see. If you guys that like the teas, have you seen Upton Tea, which is where I get mine from usually? They got a really nice selection of all sorts of stuff. They've got a lot of smoked teas. They've got um, some really odd ones from China, like Pu'er teas, which I ordered samples of and wish I hadn't. They're a little too unusual for me. Probably have mullein all over the yard. Interesting, John. I will look that up. Oh no, got a broken pipe. Patrick says, Vernon Vig. I do not know Vernon, Patrick, but his nephew posted on Facebook that he has passed. Well, let's smoke a bowl in Vernon's memory then. Very sad when that happens. I'm overthinking the Zippo fluid thing. I'm not really overthinking it. I'm just annoyed by it. Because I don't think it used to be that hard. Yeah, I usually find Truth Seeker that you can easily get 8 ounces in a Carter Hall tub, but I usually can't get the whole pound in, um, which is fine because I'll, just leave it in the bag and then fill it up as it drops down. Oh, you guys drink the pu'er tea, Yornik? It's interesting stuff. Danny Singh, Rishi, turmeric, and ginger. I guess that's more suggestions for cough. It does run fast, Paul. Try keeping up with it and talking with it. Jeez. Have a spelling contest for the T's. There you go, Doug. Okay, so Pepe's talking about brewing beer. I've brewed beer before, never made wine. I've seen the kombucha stuff. I've thought about it, but it just scares me a little bit. Salchi Papa, good to see you tonight. Oh, Justin, I don't do that whole pinky thing. That's crazy. He was a fixture at the New York Pipe Club, Paul. Patrick, I definitely will keep him in mind. That's really sad. So Danny just leaves his open. Vernon was one of the good ones, says Ron. The creator saying just push it 90 degrees from being open. Okay, I'll give that a shot. My haunted bookshop is done. And I've made a complete mess out of my desk here. So we're for the second pipe this evening. We're going to go to the tobacco of the month, the Paretti's 150 flake. Oh my goodness, Chris, that you got to be careful. I've got an exploding beer story that I can tell you that could have been tragic, but my goodness, A concussion and a head wound from exploding kombucha. Doesn't sound like fun. Danny's off to eat. Well, you have a great weekend too, Danny. Thanks for joining us tonight. Yupon leaves are dried and smoked and used as a tea by the Native Americans in the U.S., says Sailor. Nice taste and a super high caffeine content. Cool. Paul, I could see London being its own thing for sure. Sauchi just started smoking a pipe on January 14th. Well, fantastic, Sauchi. It's good to have you with us. Yes, Peter, I saw that the tobacco pipes is now owned by Pipes and Cigars. A bit of a acquirement there. And there's my buddy Couch. Put a sealed can of baked beans on the fire, napalm beams everywhere. Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all. Uh, Speaking of Couch, my next pipe, you might recognize, Couch. This is a 7L made for a tobacco shop called Clafters, and it's a wonderful pipe that my buddy Couch was kind enough to send to me, and I love it. And we're gonna put some of this 150 flake in it. And this Sunday I'm gonna give a more in-depth sort of impressions of the 150 flake, which I continue to enjoy. And I was thinking about this earlier today. Somebody was mentioning Watch City earlier today. I'm lying, it was yesterday. But these flakes remind me a lot of Watch City flakes, just in terms of their thickness and the way they break up. I doubt there's anything there. I'm just saying that if you're familiar with Watch City, it's very similar. And Watch City has some good burley flakes. I haven't had a lot of them, but I did try them maybe 2-3 years ago and really enjoyed their burley flakes. Yeah, and this 150 flake continues to impress me and make me happy. It's good stuff. It's a nice shift from burleys. It's a good Virginia flake, very tasty, very deeply sweet, and burns well. So you get a long smoke out of it. And this is not very old at all. I think I bought this just a couple months ago. Moisture level's perfect. Date on this. Yeah, this was purchased in November. Yeah, that's right, because I got it when I got the Thanksgiving Day this year. He's 150th anniversary creator. I just remember being 150 Flake. I don't remember the anniversary part, but it makes sense. And I think both Home and Phil told me that this would be a good, and maybe even my friend Eric, might have been a lot of people that told me that this would be a good replacement for Scottish Flake, which was a McClellan product that Paretti sold that I really enjoyed. Good evening, James Steidle. Good to see you tonight, James. Gordy's saying you can still access the website. I'm assuming you mean the pipes, smoking pipes. You can pull up the email. Oh, there's a problem with tobacco reviews. Is that what you're talking about? Let's see. No, of course I will not be able to find the email. Here we go. Tobacco pipes have been acquired by Pipes and Cigars as of March 3rd at 11:59 p.m. The website will no longer be available. So you got until March 3rd. I wasn't feeling beat up, creator. Burley Nut Bob saying good night. Well, thank you for spending some time with us, Bob. Ah, so they've blocked access to tobacco reviews outside the U.S. Interesting. I wonder if you're also going to lose access to, smoking pipes and such. John, if I ever make another split bamboo fly rod, I would love to make one, John, but I'm just not set up for it anymore. I'd need to put together some way to some kind of an oven, and it'd be a lot of work to get one of those going. Armchair Piper, you take good care, buddy. Have a nice weekend. Good seeing you tonight. Paul the Piper, hey to you, sir. Good to see you tonight, Paul. John, what I might do is I've got a lot of rods from my father-in-law that need to be repaired. And, so maybe I could do some stuff with those. And maybe I could, at some point, build not a split rod, but just a regular graphite rod. Sauchi Papa's going to put the little man to bed. Well, you say goodnight to him from all of us there, Sauchi, and have a great weekend. Great seeing you tonight. Hope you join us again. Well, Smooth Piper, I think it's just economic realities, Peter. It's not a huge industry. Um, it's probably bigger than a lot of people think it is, but it's not a huge industry, and consolidation of that sort is just necessary to keep alive. As for why they're blocking tobacco reviews, I have no idea. I mean, that's politics going on outside of the U.S. But I mean, we heard a couple weeks ago about the ridiculous law they're trying to pass in the UK, where if you're not a certain age by the time that law passes, you're never going to be allowed to smoke. I mean, that's a different problem altogether. And I would imagine some other places will follow suit with that. I mean, Australia is an obvious one where they've been taxing things to the point where it's not economically feasible to smoke a pipe. Oh, Yornik, that's not good. I hate it when you just suddenly start with cold symptoms like that. I've been worried. There's some really nasty stomach flu going around these parts. It's been knocking people out for like a week and a half to 2 weeks, and I back on Tuesday started to feel. Was it Tuesday or Wednesday? Wednesday started to feel a little queasy, and thought, oh no. But fortunately, it cleared up in 24 hours. It wasn't anything too bad, but I hate that feeling. I think you're right about pipes and cigars there, Chris. Oh, that's right. Tobacco Reviews is owned by one of them, isn't it? Yeah, I'd forgotten about that. Oh, Gordy, that sounds really bad. Hey, Zeus, they did try taxing tea once and it didn't go well, but that was back in the days before there was television. They've been taxing tobacco for a long time and nobody seems to have noticed much. There's a quote, I have no idea who first said this, but here in the US they say that if television were invented in the 1700s, we'd all be British citizens. Really, Christian? So they're blocking Cup of Joe. Wow, that is terrible. All the Pipers loading up some Irish flake. There we go. Red Morrison, how you doing, buddy? Having a great Friday so far. Well, so far it's almost over. It's been a great Friday. Home is saying that since his vitamin D has been high, he has not been sick. Vitamin D is definitely one of those things that a lot of people don't get to the level it should be. Rob Link is saying the tobacco reviews division of McBaron. Interesting. Yeah, Paul, from what we can gather, it looks like they're blocking it outside of the U.S. Why? I don't know. Kate, are those evil cigarettes Chinese cigarettes? I have to admit, they all seem to be evil. My guess is that the governments in those countries have requested it be blocked. I can't imagine that they would block it on their own. Or STG, as a larger organization, has been informed that there are some legal ramifications of it not being blocked. But those are legal ramifications coming from the home country of the viewer, not from the home base of the website, would be my guess. I know, Doug, you and Lord Hogarth should be able to better inform on this. I'm just making stuff up. Big Country Briar, how you doing, Cole? Cigarettes are just evil in general. I kind of agree with you, Paul. Ah, I see. So it's because so McBaron didn't have to worry about it, but STG is more concerned about the fact that advertising is illegal in these countries, and therefore they're blocking it. That makes some sense, Paul. Cole's just getting home from eating sushi. Good for you, Cole. So, Doug, you say Starbucks was becoming popular in London, and yet you were still able to find good coffee there? That is unique. That's the proper term, Yornik, yes. Big Brother's alive and well in Europe. Yeah, Big Brother's alive and well everywhere. And, the unfortunate thing is that, yes, there are political movements right now to push back against that, and that's a good thing. Um, we're still kind of we're just never going to be popular enough with folks on either side of that issue to be protected. Nobody's going to stand up and say, hey, we shouldn't be doing this to tobacco smokers. We're always going to be the dirty outcasts, regardless of what the political climate is. So it's never going to get better. Might stay the same, but it's not going to get better. No, Doug, it does link directly to the web page to buy the tobacco. So I could understand how they might worry about that being advertising. There's a plane that flipped landing in Canada? How did that happen? I didn't hear about that, Paul. Patrick, this evening I'm enjoying the last of my Northwest Rasputin stouts. Thank you for asking. And I do enjoy them. I'm probably going to pick up some more at some point. Red, glad it worked for you, buddy. Yeah, you can overthink anything, including rehydration and tobacco, but you find what works. I'm sure that's true, Doug. I just couldn't miss the opportunity to put a dig into the my dislike of the burnt hippie coffee. But yeah, the instant Nescafe is not. Yeah, as much as I don't like Starbucks, I would probably drink it over instant Nescafe. Bad company, Piper. Glad your scan went well there, buddy. It was a Delta flight. How did it get all the way upside down, Tom? That's really strange. I hope, well, I'm guessing people were hurt, but hopefully it wasn't too tragic. Let's hear for the dirty outcasts indeed, Paul. Oh, the right wing hit the runway. Okay, wow. Was that on takeoff, Patrick, or was that on landing? That's terrifying. Important to distinguish, Yornik. We're not outcasts, we're rebels. Yes. Pearson Airport in Toronto. My goodness, that is scary, Patrick. So Bona Piper has confirmed that people Europe and Canada are no longer able to access Tobacco Review's website. Wow. That's interesting, Paul. So it came in too slow and the right gear touched and that caused the wing to hit the, wow. Everyone survived with minor injuries. Well, that's miraculous scary. Glad to hear that. I can imagine that, Doug. Yes. I would have had to have smuggled in my own bag of 8 o'clock. Ah, so it was a crosswind. Okay. Richard Burton and the Medusa Touch. Why are you mentioning that, creator? What a fantastic movie that was. Oh, the plane. Oh, God, yeah. Oh, my goodness. If you haven't seen the Medusa Touch, I highly recommend it. There is a scene in that that involves a plane crash that if you think about when that movie was made, I have no idea how they did that. That was some of the best special effects I've ever seen. It had to be all practical effects at that time. It was unbelievably good. That's true, Brian. There was some pretty bad weather around that time, wasn't there? Gary and Mister doesn't fly because it makes his arms tired. There you go. I managed to get something all over my shirt here and not notice it. Hope that wasn't too obvious for the whole show. How are we doing on time here? Oh my goodness. Time is flying. Just like Gary's not. Mushroom leg. Should we do it? Okay, this is for Mushroom leg. Mushroom leg, I've been waiting for you for the entire evening.
Ain't not much but you, but my love is the place for you if you like pipes and chatting, and especially if you being merry and is hotter than ginger.
There we go. Hopefully you could hear that. I think I set it up properly. Glad you enjoyed it, buddy. Tonight when I was getting set up, I thought, I still haven't incorporated the theme song. So Ray, you feel joy and I feel joy secondhand from you. I think that's about it. Everybody else is annoyed. You're right, Christian. Who in their right mind would prefer Ginger over Marianne? I just don't know. Oh, Doug, that's we've been doing that for a while. That's usually do it in the first few minutes of the show. It's it's an AI generated song I made, oh gosh, at least a year ago, that everybody instantly hated except for Mushroom Leg. So we don't play it very often, but time's fun when you're having flies indeed, Paul. Ah, yes, someone was asking about the movie that came up when we were discussing Sisu, and it was something Hunter, and Flint Hill is now saying it was White Hunter, which is about the Finnish sniper. I think that's correct, Flint Hill. Michael says it seems like time is going slowly. I hope that doesn't mean I'm extra boring tonight, Michael. Good night, Justin. Thanks for joining us tonight, buddy. Oh, thank you, Mushroom Leg. Yeah, that video did really well, which I'm happy about. That's something I've been wanting to talk about for quite a while. Becoming good friends with the pipe, because yeah, I really do think that people buy too many pipes and don't take the time to appreciate them. Oh, Flint Hill was guessing at it. I think White Hunter makes sense. Flint Hill, that sounds familiar to me. Yes, Paul, I think today is indeed International Pipe Smoking Day, Boxing Day. I think that is absolutely correct. The theme song definitely sounds better after you drink a fifth, Doug. No question about it. So he was known as the White Death, says Jesus. Yeah, Paul, I'm going to have trouble sleeping tonight with all this coffee talk. Bonna Piper's taking volunteers for snow shoveling. My goodness, Christian's got a lot of snow up there. He sent me some pictures on Instagram. Wow, that's a lot of snow. That's a beautiful poem, Yornik. Collecting acquaintances, David. Good for you. Acquaintances. There we go. I even said the right word that time. Had to close the restaurant because of snow, Mushroom. Like, wow. No more than usual. Okay, Michael. I'm glad to hear that. At least I'm keeping up the standards. Oh no, we're talking about snow, Christian. Absolutely. You stayed open during a tornado, Mushroom Lake? That's some dedication. Oh, Pepe, it's definitely different in Montana. Although I would argue that northern Vermont, which is close to where Christian is, up near Montreal, we rival that. They rival that. My family sometimes deals with you know, multiple feet of snow falling overnight. Death Hunt with Charles Bronson and Lee Marvin is a good flick, according to creator of the Boundless Universe. I think I've seen that creator, I just don't really remember it. Long time ago. Look at that. Steve Quinn is confirming that even Bob Denver knew the truth. Oh, Kate, I'm glad you got a sense of humor. Oh, Couch, I hope you like it. Otherwise, you're going to yell at me. It's not fun when Couch yells at me. It can be very, very cool. Black Irish twist and a Molina bent bulldog. That sounds good, Jesus. Yes, smoking a pipe is somehow more important in cold weather, Pepe. I agree. 2 feet in 24 hours. That's impressive, Brian. Oh, so you went all in, Couch. Just go all in and get the full 8 ounces. There you go. James had some Cornell and Deal espresso blend in a cob earlier today. Hope you enjoyed that, James. I haven't found a coffee flavored aromatic that I can smoke. Not that I've tried that hard. I have had the C&D espresso. I've had a couple of the other Cornell and Deals. The Sudless were just terrible. But I like so few aromatics, it's not surprising. Oh, I can't imagine that wreaked havoc in Texas there, Sailor. 5 inches of snow in South Texas, not something you're prepared for, huh? Michael Case hates snow and calls it angel vomit. And yes, Sarge does not like cold weather. Indeed, Kate, and no one should stop you. Make all the snowmen you want. Using pipes as hand warmers, are we, Red? Oh, Couch, I'd love to see that, buddy. Couch is getting a fancy new bike. So I'm so old that I remember really wanting to get a 10-speed bike because I only had the bike with pedals on it. It didn't have any gears. I don't even know if they still make bikes like that, but and then I got the 10-speed bike and it was okay, you know, but I didn't use it effectively, so I just wound up going back to the other bike. There you go, Pipe Smoker 795. I don't think I've seen Tombstone in a while. When when did that come out? I might even be thinking of, no, I remember that quote. All right, Kate, thanks for joining us and give our best to the fella there. Exactly, Mushroom Lake. You pedaled backwards for brakes. Yes. And I can't tell you how many times I was on that 10 speed and I needed to stop and I'd start pedaling backwards, which doesn't work. It was 93. Okay. $14 years. Well, happy retirement anniversary, Michael. Fantastic. Oh, Kate's still here. Okay, we thought you were leaving, but both Kate and Michael are still here, and we're happy for both. Had to jam your foot into the back tire to slow down? My goodness, Brian. I remember 3 speeds, Michael. Yeah. I think I just skipped over that. Okay, so it's just a single gear bike then, Couch? Unforgiven is I've got a weird history with Unforgiven. I'm sure it's a wonderful movie, but I saw it under weird circumstances, and I'll tell the story. We got a little bit of time left. So there was this woman I worked with that I was trying to get up the nerve to ask out. Not my wife, by the way, who I also worked with at around the same time. So I hope she's not watching. And there was a local theater, and they were playing. I quickly looked up what movies were playing, and I believe it was Single White Female was the movie, and I don't even remember what that was about. I just remember the title. I think it was a thriller with De Mornay, Rebecca De Mornay, I think, was in it. But that's all I can remember. So anyway, I asked her if she wanted to go, and she said yes. And so we're going to go see Single White Female, and we go to the theater, we buy our tickets, and we're sitting there, and we got just a minute or two later than we should have, and we're like, oh good, they're still showing the trailers. And we sit down, and there's this trailer for a Western. And we're watching the trailer, and we're like, boy, this is a gritty movie. I don't know if I'd like to see this. Because we're talking, because it's a trailer. You talk during the trailers. You got paid to be an altar boy, Christian? We had to do it for free, my goodness. So anyway, we're sitting there, and like, this is a really long trailer. And we're like looking at one another like, why is this trailer going on for so long? And then we realized we were in the wrong movie. It wasn't that this was a single theater movie theater. We didn't have, we just went on the wrong night. So the movie had changed since I had looked at it. And we were watching Unforgiven. And we were not in the mood for Unforgiven. We didn't know anything about it. And Clint Eastwood kept saying, I'm not like that anymore. So every time he would say it, we would, lean one to the other and say, I'm not like that anymore. And it became like this running joke throughout the movie. And every time he'd say it, we'd laugh more. And people started to get unhappy with us because we were laughing in the middle of Unforgiven. And yeah, so anyway, that was an interesting night, and just was not in the right mood for that movie, and have not seen it since because it was such an awkward experience for me, and we never went out again. So there you have it. Oh yes, clothespins. We used to use extra baseball cards to make the bike sound cool. Absolutely. So several people have told me I should watch Unforgiven again because I just was in the wrong frame of mind for it, and it's actually a fantastic movie and all of that. But I don't know. I just But if you do watch Unforgiven, just as a drinking game, maybe just get yourself a big bottle of whiskey, and every time Clint Eastwood says I'm not like that anymore, do a shot, or just count them if you don't want to drink. But my goodness, that line gets repeated quite a bit. Mushroom Lake, I had no interest in seeing single white female and have not seen it. I was going because that's what she wanted to see. '21 speed mountain. 21 speed? What do you? Jeez, I couldn't handle 10. The Duck of Death was funny, Flint Hill. I'll give you that. I will give you that. Oh my goodness, we are over time. I still have a fair amount of this wonderful beer to go. Paddington in Peru was fantastic. Okay, Yornik. Jesus wants to do the drinking game next Friday. Can't load tobacco reviews in Maryland either. Well, that's odd. They are a little odd in Maryland. Sorry if anybody's joining us from Maryland. I'm just making a joke there based on absolutely nothing. Just for the heck of it, let me see if I can access it here myself. Yep, there it is. Does not permit access to minors, so you have to admit that you're 21 years old. But other than that, it's there and normal. I don't know what's going on in Maryland. Very odd. Flint Hills went to see Paddington with his wife and liked it. Okay. Maybe I'll have to suggest that to my wife. She tends to like those sorts of things. Where did the time go indeed? I have not checked out Nosferatu yet, Rob. I really want to, but I think I missed my chance. At least to see it on the big screen. But anyway, folks, we should bring this to a close because I'm tired and you're tired and I got stuff to do miles to go before I sleep. So with that, friends, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Really had a great time as always. It's always a interesting conversation. You never know where it's going to go, and I really appreciate you all for being a part of that. So with that, I'm going to finish this up. I will see you next Friday, which is going to be the last Friday in February. My goodness, we're going to be in March before you know it. And I'll be back on Sunday with a video. I'm definitely going to be talking about the Paretti 150th anniversary flake and give you my impressions of that. Since you all picked it, you should tune in for that. Take care, be safe, stay warm, and all that kind of good stuff. And we'll talk soon. Good night, everyone.